My journey began after I sacked Troy. I took all my soldiers after 7 years of long, hard fighting, and I decided it's time to raid another city. So I took all my men and we went to Shishiones and sacked it. After which we left, our bags filled to the brim with loot. So we got on our boats and began our journey home. Off we sailed, and me and my crew landed on the island of the Lotus Eaters. There lay sweet goodies that I had no interest in. There was not an ounce of temptation in my heart. So then I tied the poor fools who were brainwashed from the Lotus, thus saving my men from the Lotus Eaters. We then sailed to a small island, and being the brave man I am, I began to explore the area. I looked around and found a cave filled with loot. All around me were beautiful treasures and even a flock of sheep. Despite my urges, the crew convinced me to wait for whoever owned the cave to come and meet us so they could shower us in gifts. While we were waiting, I saw a massive figure, the Cyclops Polyphemus, standing in the doorway. But instead of gifts, he ate one of my brave crew members. Polyphemus had us locked in his dungeon. But fear not, I put together a genius plan. I got him drunk with some wine. I sharpened a stake and made light work of his only eye. Polyphemus screamed in rage. After which we managed our escape bravely, gracefully, and intelligently. As we sailed away, one of my dummy crew members insulted him, and he cursed us. Then I met King Aeolus, who, impressed with my skill, decided to give me a bag filled with wind that had the power to bring us all home. Once I got the bag, we came remarkably close to Ithaca, but one of my idiot crew members opened the bag like a moron, sending us off course, crushing our hopes of getting home anytime soon. With that betrayal, me and my crew members were lost. We were sailing around trying to find any island. Finally, we found one. However, it was filled with giants. They politely asked me to leave. Being the good guest I am, I decided to oblige. We ran away and found another island, the home of Circe, a beautiful nymph. Out of fear of our overwhelming power, she turned some of my crew members into animals. Despite my shock, I was able to use my charisma and wiles to convince her to change them back. Especially my charisma. Amazed by her grace and kindness, Circe let us stay over for a while, and we decided to accept her offer. We didn't stay for that long. 1 year. Then off we were to sail back to Ithaca.
After our eventful time with Circe, our next destination was given to us by the gods themselves. The gods, through Circe, instructed us to come to the land of the dead and summon the spirits of the dead by conducting an ancient ritual. The first step was to dig a hole, and then fill the hole with some super special secret ingredients, each one handpicked by Circe, and intended only for this ritual. Once all the ingredients were in place, all we had to do was wait for the spirits of the dead to arrive. There I met many dead heroes. I asked them many questions, like if Ithaca was doing well, how my mother was, and if the afterlife was good. Of course, the responses were all positive. After my confidence was boosted by the spirits, I went back to Circe, who told me about the dangers of the sirens and their beautiful song, and about the angry sea monster. There was also one more thing she said, something about the delicious sun cattle. Can't remember what, though. I, being strong and willful, sailed through the siren's call without flinching, while the rest of my crew had to plug their ears with wax. After that, We sailed past the sea monster Scylla, a mighty sea beast who killed some of my men, devouring them. Yet I soldiered on, unabated and unafraid, ready to move forward. After the unfortunate deaths of my crew members, we sailed onward across the sea and arrived at an island. As we ventured onto the island, we found something amazing, some sun cattle. Once I saw them, I remembered something important. Me and my crew members were hungry, so we feasted on these tasty and delicious cows, having a massive barbecue with the sun cow burgers as the main meal. And boy, were those burgers good. In fact, those were the best burgers I ever had. To this day, I don't regret eating those cows. The food was that good. Man, I wish I had one right now. However, as we left the island, the boat was hit by a lightning bolt from Zeus, who got angry for no reason. Man, if only someone would have told me that this would happen. After our ship was torn asunder through sheer willpower and my spectacular strength, I managed to get onto a foreign island. There, I met Calypso, and we...
This part of the Odyssey has been censored.
However, after a while, she eventually let me go home on a raft, where I began rowing with bristling confidence. I was excited and ready to get home to Ithaca.
I landed on an island, and I was brought before King Alcyoneus. He begged me to regale him in my story from the beginning of the Trojan War to how I ended up there. So I told him a wonderful story of my amazing exploits, a riveting tale of my adventures, a story similar to the one I am telling you now. Yet, I think this one is probably more accurate. He was astounded by my oration, stunned by my verbal prowess, and my rendition of the events. After which, the king, impressed by my story, kindly gave me a new ship and crew to sail away on and head back home to Ithaca. When I got home, I found my house invaded by guests who were drinking my alcohol and eating my snacks. So I did the reasonable thing. I killed them all. That's what they get for visiting my house and trying to steal my kingship. After that, I moved on to the next group, my maids. I forced them to clean every single inch of my house, make sure it was dust-free. Then, once they were done, I once again did the reasonable thing. I executed every single one of them. After my house was in order, I once again reigned as king of Ithaca. My journey home was over. My strength, skill, and wit led me to victory, with minimal casualties and a victorious return. I only had one more pesky thing to do. The families of the guests I killed were a little peeved, so they attacked me until Athena descended from the heavens, ending the conflict.
I stood victorious, the greatest hero of them all.
Do